missed that update. Shifting our focus to the big debate that we are having. The National Investigative Agency has unraveled an eye-opening plot. An American mercenary, Matthew Van Dyke, has been arrested with 6 Ukrainians posed as tourists. Van Dyke, who claims to be a columnist and a soldier, has been caught offering drone training to insurgents and banned groups in Myanmar. This international spy network is accused of smuggling drones via secret transit route to Myanmar. The US Embassy said that it is aware of the situation and Ukraine has requested India to release all its nationals. The NIA sources tell us of a wider conspiracy to provide tactical support to insurgent groups along the India-Myanmar border and to also maintain operational ties with banned groups. Videos have also surfaced of the arms training in Myanmar. So what was an American mercenary doing, plotting a terror attack in India? Is he also involved with the security situation in Manipur? Does this confirm a full-fledged foreign conspiracy to destabilize India? We'll try to answer all these questions. Joining me on the telecast are my panelists. I'm going to start my conversation with Major General G. Dwivedi. He's a defense and geopolitical expert. General Dwivedi, does this come as a shock that there is 1 American national and 6 Ukrainians who have been caught plotting against India, training insurgents in Myanmar, and worse so, actually smuggling drones through India into Myanmar?
Well, Megha, thank you for having me on Newsx. Well, I don't think it should have come as a shock, because if you go by the statement made by the Chief Minister of Mizoram, he has stated that Mizoram has been used now as a corridor for the Ukrainians to be transiting into Myanmar, crossing the border there. So that means that this has been on. Only thing that we possibly have only woken up right now when the things have become very explicit. Now there are a couple of issues that we need to take into consideration. Megha, firstly, we are in the era of hybrid wars. In the hybrid wars, non-state actors, mercenaries are playing a major role. In Ukraine, the Wagner forces and the number of mercenaries are fighting from either side. In fact, Russia has said that they will not be recruiting any more Ethiopians. The point is that mercenaries, non-state actors are today very much part of the hybrid warfare. Secondly, this gentleman who is Matthew Aaron Van Dyke, he has a very checkered background. He is from the forces he served in the US Army. Then he has been all over in Libya, Venezuela, and even in the Middle East. So he is a very hardened mercenary, and currently he is now active in Myanmar because his stated agenda is that he is supporting the rebels against the dictatorial regime. But what is very important for us is the security concern of the Northeast, having served in this Northeast for a number of years. Well, it is a very, very sensitive issue for us, because if the Mizoram is being used as a transit route and the supply of weapons, drones, drugs, now that makes a very toxic combination. So I think that our security agencies should go hands-on, because as it is, I said that we have caught this whole racket a little late, but it's time now to put the finger on the nerve and see what exactly is going on.
Okay, all right. Megha. Okay, I'm going to also get in Wing Commander Praful Bakshi into this conversation. Wing Commander Bakshi, a checkered past of this American national by the name of Van Dyke, the fact that he wanted to enroll himself in the CIA failed. He has been participating in insurgent activities, whether it is in Syria or Iraq and other parts of the world, and now shifts his focus to India and Myanmar. What does this tell us about the man?
Thank you, Megha. Let me tell you one thing, that the breed of Van Dyke type people, he is a great admirer of Colonel Mad Mike Hoare, who was in 70s a very great mercenary. Great mercenary means he had taped up all procedures how to topple small governments, island governments, etc. And these people earn money through mercenary activity like Wagner Group, as we know already. So this person is carrying out whoever gives him money. Now he gets money from the insurgent groups because insurgent groups are getting a lot of money from Europe. I'll tell you why. Because as it is in 2024, Sheikh Hasina had mentioned that certain European powers wanted to create a Christian state in Northeast, and these mercenaries are the right person. They also are carrying out and helping the terrorists. They are carrying out activities on that line, which I just mentioned, and that's why this Von Dyke is now quite an expert. He is giving his services to the Myanmar groups. He is giving his services to the parties operating within India, in Mizoram and all. So he is not alone. He has a lot of team. And mind you, the Ukrainian, which were also involved, they were depending on him and his expertise to take the drones. Now the drones will be used in various activities, whether it is an insurgent activity, anti-national activities, whatever they can be. And they have got enough money, they have got enough monetary help to carry out these activities. Now NIA has to get deep into it, as to not say it's only terrorist activity and forget about it. There will be something more to it, what meets the eye. And we have to now look at it, what is going to be there, whether it is a Christian state idea, which is again coming up. Terrorism will continue, there is no doubt about it, because religious differences are there, that the terrorism will be there, and the people will be against the Indian administration, the people, so it will be there. So it is a fertile ground for the terrorists to come and operate and earn money and go.
Okay.
So making an important task to find out as to what the people are going to do.
Okay, all right. BL Vora, our porous border with Myanmar on the northeast front, whether it is Mizoram or Manipur, continues to be problematic. There have been efforts that have been made by the Home Ministry to monitor it, to ensure that the borders are secured. But what more can be done?
Problem, Megha, is that this border has been porous, unmanaged, I will say, for many decades. There's nothing new. It's a very long border, almost 1400 kilometers with Myanmar. There are some known routes, of course, from More and Tamu there in Manipur, but there are any number of routes from where one can cross over on either side. Now here in this case, this arrest and this uncovering of the tip of the plot, I think is something which is very dangerous for the security of India. And I think we have to be very, very careful on this. Earlier ISI used to operate it, China used to operate it. It's the first time, at least in public domain now, that Americans and Ukrainians also are involved in this. And look at the designs. They come here, somebody would have told them the route from where to go, from the passports, come to Delhi, go to Guwahati, then go to Mizoram with the inner light permit, then go across. And I will not be surprised that the drug lords are also funding it. Because, supporting cookies, they had their own problems with the Manipur government. And look, let's not forget Bangladesh also. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman had said, recently Yunus had also said, Northeast is an extension of Bangladesh. This is what they have been also saying, and they have been also trying to fish in the troubled waters, whether they are Rohingyas and others. The point is that these people coming, and this person you're talking of, this American, he calls himself war correspondent. He's a documentary film maker sometimes. Of course, he was in Libya. But issue is drones coming. Who's funded them? Where have they come? And here they would have come in knockdown condition. And where they have been assembled now. And then these days they can be used for wedding also, for shooting also. Weapons can also be attached to drones. And I think there's very big design going on, and maybe there are many more sleeper cells like this which will be operating. I think NIA has done a good job with the little help from Russians, as we all know. It's in public domain. And I'm sure other 10 also will be caught, Ukrainians who are floating around in India somewhere.
Okay.
But I think situation is very bad, very dangerous. Good we have put our finger on it, and I'm sure that the NIA and the government of India will go whole hog after us. But let us not forget one basic thing. All these countries are inimical to India, whether it's China, whether it's America, whether it's Bangladesh, whether it is Pakistan. Even Myanmar has its own axe to grind. They have their own problems of all kinds. And I think this is going to be very, very serious. And managing the border, I think, put your finger on a very, for me, sensitive topic. I was Home Secretary there. I was Director General of Police there also in Manipur. In one word, I'll say it's not being taken seriously at all, if you ask me. Earlier, it was left to Assam Rifles, then there was a talk that they'll have ITBP, then there was a talk they'll have something else. Nothing actually has happened on ground, and these problems will continue, let me tell you that. Thank you.
Jyoti Basu, very pertinent questions that have been raised by Mr. B.L. Vora. Where have these drones come from? Which European country? It is just mentioned very vaguely that these drones have been infiltrated into Myanmar through India from Europe. But which European country is actually trying to fund this war against India?
Well, first of all, the very fact that this particular guy, this American Dyke, is involved in it, it shows that there is some kind of maybe American deep state involvement. Okay, I mean, because that is what I'm hearing, that there is some kind of deep state involvement, whether that is CIA or some other arm or not, we do not know, but possibly there is some kind of an involvement. And this man is also somewhat ideological in terms of, he has been talking about Christian persecution in India. So you see, he is driven by that as well. This is that typical talk that of the US aid, USCIRF, we know all that is happening. So that strain is also there. And the thing is, let's not forget about the Ukrainian angle, because you see, I mean, we know for certain, in fact, we had done a story sometime, I would say, before 2024 elections, about how some plot was being hatched about, destabilizing India and the election, affecting the election. And from whatever, we did not mention the country, but yeah, this was a European country. Okay, I might as well say there was some suspicion of some Ukrainian involvement. Now, when you are talking about drones from coming from a European country, that country can only be Ukraine, primarily because when you look at drone technology, when you see the only country in Europe which may not be part of the EU, but the only country which has developed drone technology to a large extent is, of course, Ukraine. Turkey, even though it is part of NATO, I'm not considering it as European because it's half European, half Asian, because Turkey is also very good at it when it comes to drones. So obviously these drones are Ukrainian. And Ukraine has an axe to grind with India because of what it sees as India's support against Ukraine and support for Russia. We may have said that we are neutral, but obviously that is what they have been talking about. And you see, now the whole point is that whether these are state-backed efforts or whether these are some individuals and some groups, some mercenaries, they have decided to take up some kind of cause, that is something, and pursue it, try to destabilize India, because whatever might the goal be in terms of, having a regime change in Myanmar, ultimately it is about destabilizing India and making that northeast part or northeastern part of India, unstable.
Okay.
So the thing is that I think further investigation will tell us what is going on.
Okay. Okay. And I'm going to go in the reverse order and get all my other panelists one by one, starting with B.L. Vora. Mr. Vora, now, as Joyita speculated that there could be an involvement of the alleged deep state There has been a statement to this effect that has been released by the US Embassy in India, saying that they are aware of the situation and they are monitoring it. They've said nothing more than that. While Ukraine at this point of time is demanding that India release 6 of its Ukrainian nationals. Where does this investigation go forth from here?
Megha, everywhere deep state is supported by the government. Even in whether you take Pakistan or whether you take America, it is a CIA behind everything. Of course, Ukrainians asking for help. This is generally for public consumption. But I wanted to add was the internal help that they have got. We have a lot of enemies in India who are anti-India, who want India to be destroyed. We know it. And I think that also needs to be uncovered, and they will do it, I am sure. Who gave them the passport, who gave them the shelter, who transported them, who took them where, who showed them the routes. Somebody has to be there. And a lot of money is definitely, of course, involved in the whole thing. So I think that all these issues, it's a very, very big plot, very dangerous plot, I think, which has come to notice, fortunately. And I think a lot of work will be required and soon. And I think meanwhile, I'm sure Government of India would have alerted the states, actions being taken. And let's not forget, within the Northeast also, there are many groups. You know this, insurgent groups. They are in Manipur, they are in Nagaland, they are elsewhere also. So they are also there. They are also getting training, help, this, that, and all. So I think that they all think, and the fact also is, India, Northeast is India's underbelly, and they would like to exploit that the most. And geographically, it is so placed. Why go far? Our own Sharjeel Imam said that they'll break the chicken neck straight away by itself. Why go far? So the point is that there's a lot of work to be done on this front, both internally and externally, and of course internationally now. A lot of help, coordination, all that will be required of Interpol and all other agencies. Our diplomacy has also to work a lot in this matter.
Okay. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, do you think work has started? The government and the Home Ministry is in the know about how sensitive the situation is and how important the northeastern region is for the country, whether we are building connectivity routes, flights, trains, bridges, road networks, and how does this help bolster the security of our region?
Thank you, Megha. At the onset, I must first thing congratulate them, NIA. They have done a very good job, and they have unearthed so much, and they are on the right path. And you're very right. The things are changing very fast in Northeast. Yes, the things were bad at one time, but now they are changing. The connectivity is there, the intelligence gathering is there, the jointmanship between the intelligence agency is working very well now. Previously, there used to be a lot of friction, as Mr. Bora will bear me out. But now I think they are much on the firmer path and a straight path. And also, we are now getting more intelligence regarding what is China going to do, what is their interest, how they inflaming Bangladesh, how Bangladesh is trying to enter put their activities within Northeast. So government is doing this level best, and awareness is there, and communication system and intelligence. And by the way, normal public, as you see, is now very much aware as to what is happening in Northeast. So I personally feel we are on the right path, better late than never. Okay. And that is why we'll unearth. But I must also tell you that the foreign mercenaries is not a new phenomena. They were in Kashmir also.
Yeah.
The terrorist activity, they were coming there through Afghanistan.
No, so but what's novel in this situation, sir, is the fact that there is an American and Ukrainians involved, which is the first that we have seen in attempts of insurgency that have been made in along the Indian borders. General Gigi Dwivedi, particularly about this man, his antecedents, his profile that we have just done a few minutes ago, the fact that he has involved himself in the Libya war, he was in Iraq, also was training Ukrainians against Russia, and he has been praised at length and in international, in American publications, in UK publications like The Guardian, New York Post, and so many others, giving him such credibility of the work that he has done in the past. Do you think it becomes tougher for the Indian government, the NIA, to pin him down for this alleged insurgency act that he has committed?
Well, Megha, first and foremost, I think we should not miss the wood for the trees. He is just a front face, but there's a lot behind this front face. That's what we must go into and not just get gravitated or carried away by this one person. I like to make three important points. First and foremost, Northeast have been sensitive since the time I went to Northeast in 1971. And sensitivity has only increased. The complexity has also increased. But unfortunately, we didn't have a very cogent policy for Northeast. Second point is, I'm surprised. We are not taking the statement of Chief Minister of Mizoram seriously. He has been saying that Mizoram has been used as a corridor by the Ukrainians, and number of them has gone through. I don't know why we didn't wake up earlier. The third point is, you see, complex because there are subgroups and subgroups like ours, Mizos and Chin, they are related. They are almost bonded because they have blood relations. And our groups are also involved in all this. The point is that this is happening into Myanmar. It's also having implication for us. And this 1640-kilometer border actually has not been managed well, because when I was in GOC, this same issue was being raised 20 years back, and same issue we are discussing today. I think it's a time that we need to have a very cogent Northeast policy and ensure that these threats that are developing need to be taken care of. And last point is, today mercenaries are a very important part of the hybrid warfare, and they work for anyone who pays for them, and therefore they work for some deep state, they work for some groups, but they are the people who are like a gun. Anyone can hire these people and they can be firing in all directions. So I think this issue needs to be gone beyond just the Matthews and Van Dyke, because I think lot is behind this one person.
Okay. Quickly, a response from you, Joyita, before I wrap this up. So again, who is this deep state that is involved in actions against India? Are we at this point of time safe in speculating about Bangladesh, speculating about Myanmar and Pakistan to a certain extent?
Well, the thing is, you see, if this guy is an American and if there are Ukrainians involved, of course, while Pakistan and China have been stirring trouble in the Northeast, particularly China. And the thing is that whether Pakistan and China are directly involved in this or not, we do not know. But the very fact that this man has a history, and from whatever profile that you talked about, it kind of, from whatever I am hearing, is that our intelligence establishment is also wondering whether, he actually has some kind of deep state backing. It need not necessarily be CIA, although it could be a possibility of that the CIA is also involved. But there are so many agencies in the US, and they have been, as I said, they have been very, very anti-India. So it could be anything. They want to keep, they do not want like the idea of a stable India. Whatever they might be saying, whatever their ambassadors might be saying, they don't like that. And and in terms of it's a fact, Megha. Sheikh Hasina had talked about it, that there has to be a Christian state as a buffer. Okay, so one never knows. Let us hope that our agencies are able to get to the bottom of it, because it's a very dangerous thing to have happened.
Okay, all right. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views. Thanks for watching Newsx.